What if I told you that the secret to hitting your peak performance isn't having a perfectly polished schedule, but actually embracing a little bit of chaos? Today, we are diving into a pretty radical idea from the work, The Anti-Routine, and trust me, it's going to challenge just about everything you've been taught about productivity.
Just think about it for a second. All that effort you've poured into perfecting your daily routine. The color-coded calendars, the super optimized to-do lists, all that time blocking. But what if that rigid structure, the very thing you think is your secret weapon, is actually what's holding you back? Well, that roadblock has a name. It's called the perfection trap. It's this idea that a flawless, totally unchanging plan is the only path to success. So let's break down why that's actually kind of misleading.
And let's be real, we've been conditioned for this our entire lives, right? From school timetables to the corporate world, the message is always the same. Build a rigid system, stick to it, and boom, success is guaranteed. And on the surface, yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
I mean, the promise is so tempting, isn't it? A life of perfect order, total control, and just maximum efficiency. But here's the catch, the peril they don't really talk about. That same structure can become a cage. It leads to mental inflexibility, serious burnout, and it can kill the very creativity you were trying to harness in the first place.
So, if the perfect routine is really a trap, then what's the alternative? Well, it's time to talk about a completely new and honestly a much more exciting approach. The anti-routine. So the core idea here is something called strategic disruption. Now, this isn't about living in total random chaos, not at all. It's about intentionally adding small, calculated shakeups to your day. Maybe it's working from a coffee shop instead of your desk, or tackling your tasks in reverse order. The whole point is to jolt your brain out of that autopilot mode, forcing it to be more adaptable and way more engaged.
And this really gets to the heart of the whole philosophy. Optimal doesn't always mean predictable. See, real peak performance isn't about perfectly repeating the same moves day in and day out. It's about learning how to thrive when things aren't perfect.
I know, it sounds completely backward. How could chaos possibly lead to better performance? Well, let's actually get into the fascinating science behind why this really works.
Okay, so here's what's actually happening in your brain. When you introduce a new challenge, even a small one, you literally force your brain to build new neural pathways. It's like taking a different route to work. At first, you have to pay way more attention, but it makes your mental map of the city that much richer. Over time, this whole process strengthens your overall mental flexibility, and that makes you a sharper, more creative problem solver.
And this right here, this is the paradox of performance in action. Think about it. When your brain is just on autopilot, cruising through a routine it knows by heart, it's not truly engaged, is it? By throwing in a small, unexpected change, you snap out of that passive state. That little bit of calculated chaos actually demands a higher, deeper level of focus just to navigate it. And that pushes you into a much more effective state of learning and doing.
So this isn't just some cool brain training exercise. The ultimate goal here is to build what might be the single most valuable skill you can have in today's world: true adaptability.
So what's the real payoff? Well, you become ready for pretty much any curveball life decides to throw at you. You find a deeper, more meaningful engagement with your work. You start breaking through performance caps you didn't even realize you had. And this is a big one. You shatter those frustrating learning plateaus where it feels like you've just stopped making progress.
Now, I have to be really clear on this point. This is not an argument for just abandoning all your schedules and living in total anarchy. Absolutely not. The goal is to see strategic disruption as this powerful tool in your toolbox, something you use intentionally, surgically, to sharpen your mind and break through your own barriers.
And that, of course, brings us to you. The power of this idea isn't in just knowing about it, it's in doing it. So think about your day tomorrow. What's one small, predictable part of it that you can intentionally shake up, just to see what happens? What routine will you break first?